Hi, we're Group 1, and we're doing the investment banking update for the dates January 9th through January 18th. With me, I have Diego Barajas, Arman Oganov, and Jacob Roberts.
In the past week, many have been discussing the state of auto manufacturing in the United States. Ford, General Motors, and Toyota have been targeted by incoming administration in recent weeks for outsourcing manufacturing to Mexico. Germany's economy grew strongly in 2016 at 1.9%, propelled by a buoyant labor market and a pickup in government spending, likely making it one of the fastest growing of the group of 7 industrialized nations. U.S. customs officials have seized $25 million worth of aluminum linked to a Chinese billionaire accused of stockpiling the metal across the world. Ex-Iran President Mr. Rafsanjani, president from 1989 to 1997, suffered a heart attack and passed away over the weekend. Many of Donald Trump's cabinet picks were all interviewed in front of Congress this past week. Oliver Schmidt, who was general manager of engineering and environmental office for VW of America, was charged in a criminal complaint with conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government, to commit wire fraud, and to violate the Clean Air Act. The vice chairman and billionaire heir apparent of Samsung, J.Y. Lee, is latest in the high profile to be implicated in the presidential corruption scandal that has rocked South Korea. Fiat Chrysler Automobiles NV is under investigation by the U.S. Justice Department over its alleged failure to disclose software that violated emission standards. The possibility of a criminal action over diesel emissions comes after the Environmental Protection Agency said Thursday it found software in 104,000 Jeep Grand Cherokees and Rams that allowed automaker to exceed pollution limits on the roads. McDonald's is inviting bids for the sale of 33% stake of its Japan unit, according to a report, and the fast food company owns just under 50% of the unit. All but one of the big major investment banks beat analyst expectations this week as a result of higher trading activity and greater expectation from the new administration to reduce bank regulation. JP Morgan earned $6.73 billion and beat the analyst expectations, along with Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs. Wells Fargo was the only big investment bank to miss expectations after adjusting EPS for non-recurring costs at $0.96 per share, compared to analyst expectation of $1 per share. However, Morgan Stanley laid off a number of investment bankers last week and cut bonuses by about 15% due to a decline in revenue and deal making, mainly due to the first 9 months of 2016. The U.S. dollar index fell a little over 1.5% from Wednesday highs today following President-elect Donald Trump's first press conference since July. On January 10th, Mexico's peso currency fell by more than 1% against the dollar in early trading on Tuesday to touch a new historic low of 21.625 pesos per dollar. The peso tumbled after President-elect Donald Trump said he hopes General Motors Co. and Ford Motor Co. will set the example of keeping more jobs in the U.S. China's yuan weakened against the dollar on Wednesday as companies took advantage of a broad slide in the greenback to stock up on the U.S. company dragging down the Chinese unit in the mainland market. The pound settled at a 31-year low against the dollar Monday as investors fretted over the likelihood of Britain pulling out of the European Union's single market. The move came ahead of the speech by the Prime Minister, in which she said Britain is still seeking a clean break from the EU. Euro falls then rallies, and the ruble hits 1.5-year high against the dollar on Trump's economic policy. Interest rates remain constant this week, however. The U.S. government bond prices climb after a strong 10-year note auction. The yield on the benchmark 10-year Treasury note dropped as low as 2.328% after the auction. The Dow Industrial Average inched closer to 20,000. However, it continues to sit in the high 19,000s due to the future uncertainty about the state of the economy under the new administration. The Standard & Poor's Index closed down almost 7%, driven by a dip in energy share prices, but sustained by strong performance from banking stocks, while Nasdaq Composite fell to 5,538. The Nikkei rose to 19,000, even while the Toyota stock was hit by Trump's manufacturing policy, while the stock 600 in Europe gained slightly, driven by Germany's economic report.
All right, in tax news, a plan backed by Ryan and other House GOP leaders would raise more than $1 trillion by imposing a 20% tax on imports, while making exports tax-free and lowering the corporate tax rate to 20%. Donald Trump, however, isn't a fan of the deal, calling it too complicated, and he thinks it could result in a bad deal. Wall Street analysts see Ryan's border-adjusted tax as bad news for big importers, with retailers such as Walmart, Best Buy, and Dollar Tree especially getting hit hard. In commodity news, gold is up quite a bit, $16.50, and crude oil is down just slightly. Coffee, in other commodities news, coffee could be 2017's big commodities winner, according to analysts at Loomis Alpha Strategies team. They said there's a lot of reason to be bullish. We are starting this year with very low inventory and the major centers of production, which are Brazil and Vietnam, will have lower production due to a terrible drought in Brazil. Lastly, in commodities news, the surge in prices of a raft of commodities in the past several months, propelled by China, will probably wane this year thanks to expanded production, according to Bank of America Merrill Lynch. In some recent IPO news, Gore's Holding Incorporated, a blank check company which acquired Hostess in 2016, announced the pricing of its initial public offering of 37.5 million units at the price of $10 per unit. Also, Estia Health announced a follow-on offering for $102 million. Estia provides quality residential aged care services to thousands of older Australians across the country. 2017 looks to be to IPO some big companies such as Snap, which is the parent company of Snapchat, AppDynamics, the King Group, and possibly Uber and Airbnb. As of year-end 2016, JP Morgan came in number one in terms of deal values collected, with Bank of America coming in second. 10 convertible bonds were issued in the past week, including one from Standard Charter PLC and Neighbors Industrials. Broadcom completed the largest corporate bond deal of the year on Wednesday, selling $13.55 billion of debt in the latest sign of a strong appetite for investment-grade securities among investors. Once again, JP Morgan led in fees collected for bond offerings, with Bank of America coming in second. However, Bank of America leads in loans at $1.2 billion, with JP Morgan coming in second at $1.1 billion.
For developments in
recent M&A news, UK-based company British American Tobacco is acquiring the rest of the shares that it doesn't already own of Reynolds Americans. So that's about 58% of the company's shares for $47 billion. This deal will create the largest publicly traded tobacco company in the world based on sales. The new combined company will boast a brand portfolio consisting of Camel, Lucky Strike, Newport, and Pall Mall. The deal comes amid fierce competition from e-cigarette products and also vaping products. In energy deals, ExxonMobil is expanding its Permian Basin footprint through a deal with the Bass family valued at $5.6 billion. The company joins other oil firms in a race to build up drilling portfolios in West Texas and New Mexico. In related energy news, Noble Energy is acquiring its smaller rival, Clayton Williams, for $2.7 billion to also enhance its footprint in the Permian Basin. Both these deals come amid a slew of land acquisitions in the area as producers scramble to gain or expand positions in the oil field where drilling costs are low and in preparation for recovering oil prices. In European news, Essilor International of France said on Monday that it would merge with Luxottica Group of Italy in a deal that would value the company at $49 billion. So Essilor is acquiring Luxottica for $24 billion and will create one of the largest eyewear players in the market. Moving on to the next page, L'Oreal of France is acquiring $1.3 billion worth of assets from Valeant, as this is Valeant's latest effort to unload assets and impair debt. Some of the brands sold are CeraVe, Acne Free, and Ambi. Mars, which is usually known for its candy products, is acquiring owner and operator VCA of 800 animal hospitals, a lab business, and a dog daycare for $7.7 billion. And the CEO of Mars said that this new subsidiary will continue to operate distinctly and separately. United Health Group is looking to diversify its business and become a more broad health service provider by acquiring surgical care affiliates for $2.3 billion, which operates 205 surgical facilities in over 30 states. Finally, Takeda Pharmaceuticals of Japan will acquire Ariad Pharmaceuticals for $5.2 billion and add a leukemia drug, Iclusig, which is estimated to have generated sales of $107 million in 2016.
For more developments in the LBO/hedge fund markets, U.S. private equity fund KKR has agreed to buy Hitachi's power tools unit in a deal worth about $1.3 billion. Activist investor Elliott Management and private equity firm Bluescape Energy Partners acquired a combined stake of 7.9% in NRG Energy Inc., and together have an economic exposure of about 9.4%. Three banks have lined up to finance 275 million euros to back the buyout of German payment group Concardis by private equity firms Advent and Bain Capital. And Darko Petroleum Corporation announced that it would sell its Eagle Ford shale assets in South Texas for roughly $2.3 billion to a strategic partnership formed by Sanchez Energy Corporation and Blackstone Group. Carlyle Group has agreed to acquire the South African ratings agency Global Credit Ratings for an undisclosed amount. And for other M&A developments, on January 12th, AT&T CEO Randall Stevenson met with President-elect Donald J. Trump to discuss AT&T's $85 billion acquisition of Time Warner, a deal to be reviewed by regulators appointed by Trump later this year. The Department of Justice is currently suing to prevent a pair of mergers uniting insurers Anthem with Cigna and Aetna with Humana.
This has been the news from January 9th to the 18th, highlighting some of the most important. We hope you enjoyed our presentation, and thank you for watching.